Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Braggers Creations, and I do hope you can see and hear me, because just before I was about to stream, my computer crashed. Yeah, that's why I'm a little bit late starting. It was a little bit unfortunate there, but this particular computer that I'm using to live stream has been giving me a fair bit of grief lately, and to be honest, I am expecting rather a lot from a classic Mac Pro 3.1. So anyhow, first things first, thank you very much, Groody, for the super sticker thingy. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, as usual, I'm going to just say hello to folks. I can see Jay is here, Steve is here, Sad Mac 356, Groody is here, of course. Who else have we got? Apple Museum in Amanzing. And Distro Hopper 39B, Mike's Mac Shack is here. I don't run Catalina. No way. I don't have Catalina on anything. For your information, this particular Classic Mac Pro is running on High Sierra. So, hello. Yes, no, I don't have Catalina running on anything, quite frankly, because I am still using 32-bit apps, as simple as that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Huh? So, just having a look here, just checking to make sure I'm not missing anything important. So, my last live stream, I had some technical difficulties, and I expect the same this time. So that's something to look forward to. I should also mention for folks who didn't catch up on the last live stream that I have a new webcam here, so we've got no more of the little dots happening. I have, however, made a different use of that dotty one, and if we just do a little bit of this, hey, look at that! Check that out. Now we've got a top-down view of all the mess on the bench, and there goes the capacitors from the last thing I was working on. See you later. And so this one does have the dots. So we're not free of the dots just yet. Here you can see the dots there. But for those who want to see a top-down view, or occasionally I can see it perhaps being of use. I won't shine the UV light. I won't be shining that UV light on any CCDs from now on. I honestly did not think that UV light would impact on it. And I know that things like UV light used to have an impact on the old-fashioned video cameras back in the day, but since they transferred to CCDs, generally they've been pretty robust. I mean, you can generally point those at the sun and not have an issue. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but generally they're okay with it. But yeah, I killed it. But that's it. Okay, so let's... oh, that's dirty. I'm just going to get things into... These are all the kind of things that I should have been doing before. Now, this is a really interesting one. This is an SE30 sent to me by a customer, and he has already recapped it. And had some problems here with some RAM slots. I don't know if you can see, but there should be a little RAM slot there. So that RAM slot has been removed. I'm missing some SIM slots. Yes, I am indeed. So we are missing 2 SIM slots just here. We'll get a closer look here, maybe, without moving focus. There we can see more or less. I know it's a bit blurry, but you can pretty much see there that that's where we should have 2 RAM slots right there. Now this doesn't work, but apparently even with the RAM slot issue, it still doesn't work. So what we have to do is try and find out where the problem is with this one, see if we can fix it, see if we can get this up and running, because there aren't enough SE30s in the world. We need to try and keep as many of these alive as possible. Oh, are people getting problem messages trying to watch my live stream? What? Well, I'll wait for you. Come on, Dana, hurry up. Get here. Come on, Dana. Hello to Aim Lapierre. Aim? I think I know we have talked about the pronunciation of your name before, I'm sure of it, but I forget. It needs a PRAM reset, that's right. What were we doing? We were chatting the other day about the sometimes the not so useful help that you get on Facebook when you jump on and ask a question about something. Now, this particular person who sent me this was kind enough to actually send me some replacement RAM slot thingies. I am going to try and find out where these come from and buy a stack of them, because I would love to actually replace all of my SE30 slots with these little ones. They're single ones, so it doesn't matter about the fact that some of the newer ones have slightly different spacing here when they come in pairs. Because these come in singles, they can just, the spacing doesn't matter because they are on their own. And in they go. Everybody happy. I've already checked it. It does go into the holes. It fits quite well. So I want to buy a whole bunch of these. So I'm going to get some. Get some. Okay. Yeah, and of course they're metal clips. That's the most important thing about them. I mean, what sucks about these? And look, they realise their mistake. I mean, it's only these really early ones that have the plastic ones. Things like your SE, your early SEs, your early SE30s, Mac 2, things like that. You got to a certain point and they started replacing them all with the metal clips. It just made life so much easier. So yes, once I've found out where these come from, the person who owns this board might even be able to tell me at some stage. Someone at one stage sent me a link and said, hey, check this out. And the link went, and they were talking about RAM slots, and the link went nowhere. And I contacted them. I said, look, that link's not working for me. And they never got back to me. So it was like, it's okay. So what's going on, Data? What's the message he's getting? So I'm going to just have a look at this because, right. Yeah, okay. Sorry, just having a look here. Yep. Okay. All right. There are some troubles there. There are some troubles. So I just want to. I'm a thoughtful person. I just want everyone who wants to be here to be here. So. Okay, all right. Jay's on the case. Jay's helping out. Joe's Computer Museum. Hello there. Let's just jump across here so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so one of the first things we're going to need to do is we're going to need to inspect this board, go up and have a look at it under the microscope, see if we can see anything obviously wrong. We know that these SE30s have specific areas of problem. I also want to check and make sure that when this RAM slot was removed, that there was no damage done. Not saying anything bad about the person who did it, but at the end of the day, taking RAM slots out is a real nightmare of a job. So, yeah. So it's very easy to do damage when you're removing it. So there we go. Let's jump across to the microscope view now. And we're looking at my table. Here we go. I've got to make sure I don't do anything too exciting, because Dana's not here yet. So I'm just going to do stuff moderately exciting. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Excuse me. Quite tidy. The areas of problem that we know that occur on the old SE30 are generally around here. Everyone refers to UE8. And sure, yes, you can have problems with UE8, but you can have problems with all of these ones along here. They can all get damaged from the capacitor corrosion. It's just UE8 is probably the one in the direct line of fire, because what we would normally have here is a surface mount electrolytic capacitor. Boy, this soldering job is nice. Wow. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Bit blobby there. Not quite there. Let's just check and make sure that we've got continuity. We probably do, but we do like to check. Beep. I just, that's alright, that's okay. That's okay. That's all okay. This really doesn't look too bad. What's going on? Oh, geez, this table's sticky. I've got a lot of flux on it. Need to give it a clean. Got these little guys here. It really doesn't look too bad. It'll be terrible if I just put these RAM sims on and then it just suddenly starts working. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be interesting if it was the case. I don't know what the symptoms are, so I need to put the RAM slots on and then test it, because yeah, I mean, if I don't know what the symptoms are, it's very hard for me to know what to fix there. Scarlet Swordfish, hello. Thank you for joining. Artist Av, hello. Joe Williams, hello. All these people just jumping on here. Okay, so right. So yeah, I mean, at this stage, I don't really see anything hugely wrong with what's been done to this board so far. Sometimes when people send me their own recapping efforts, they're disasters, but this one is really not too bad. So let's now have a look at where the old RAM-Sim slot was taken off. We've got a little bit. Ooh, hello. Hello. Hello there. It would probably be prudent to run a wire near this one, or over this one instead of this one. It all looks like it's still joined, but I just think it would be a prudent thing to do. Now that is definitely not joined. That's a good old gougeroonie there. So yeah, I definitely think the wire is the way to go here. I mean, I could just join that, but I'm going to put a wire on top. We'll join it at certain locations. I've got a really exciting Mac 2 here, so if this one's too fast to fix, I can always go get that Mac 2 as well. And when I say it's exciting, it's because someone, not the person who sent it to me, I should add, someone had a go at repairing it. Oh, we've got another one. Look at that. Look at that. So this is the reason, and I should actually mention that I did actually say to this person, not making any judgment, I don't blame this person or anything like that, but I did actually say to this person, because I saw the state of this before, I said, look, if you want to send this to me to remove the RAM slots, please do, because it's really easy to do damage when you remove them. But this person decided to remove it themselves, which is, again, it's the sort of thing I would do, so I can't judge. I will not be told. Let's just have a look at the other side of the board. Looking okay. Yep. Yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, I don't see any damage traces here. We'll just get a bit of a zoom in here. How's everyone doing, by the way? How was everyone's Christmas? Good times had by all, I hope. I had a very quiet one. I've got a pretty small family, so and sort of large portions of my family are scattered all over the world, so it becomes fairly difficult for us all to get together. It only happens every few years, and of course, it certainly doesn't happen during a global pandemic. That's for sure. Oh, hello, Michael. How are you? Had a great week off. Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to be back at work today, theoretically. I haven't even checked my email. Isn't that terrible? There could be like urgent stuff waiting for me there, but I haven't checked it. I just figure that most people, they're not going to come in guns a-blazing today, you know? They're going to come in a little bit smooth. So that's my hope, anyway. So I'm hoping that if I do go and find anything on the email, there won't be anything obscenely urgent for me to deal with. Had a very, very busy lead up to Christmas, but, you know, it's all good. Okay, so we've definitely got some trace repairs to do here, so let's get cracking with that. I'm going to need my fancy scalpel, which is so dirty. God, this thing gets dirty. I have to put it in the ultrasonic. Thank you very much for that, Jay. Joe Williams, hello. Spending my holiday working on a colour classic. There are worse things you can be doing, Joe, I can tell you that for sure. Come on. Got my little alcohol dispenser here that's not dispensing. There we go. Now it's dispensing. Yeah, I've got some classic issues here at the moment. I've got a Color Classic 2 or an LC540 board. I've got two of them that are giving me grief at the moment. I need to spend time on those. One of the things that ended up happening is I just got this massive flurry of repair jobs that came in, and I'm desperately trying to get as many of them out of the way as I can, but because of that, I'm having to sort of choose the ones that are easiest to resolve. Some of them are, hello Pit Fermi, I'm Batman. So yeah, I'm having to choose the ones with the path of least resistance. So I'm basically, as much as possible, just trying to find ones that are just straight recap and go. The ones that if I work on them and they've given me problems and need more diagnostics and stuff, they're kind of having to get shelved for the moment, just so that I can get some of this backlog out of the way. And the problem is that fewer and fewer of these jobs are quick and easy these days, but just because of the age of these things, the way it is. Okay, so we're going to put a new wire here. I just need to expose some copper to find spots to solder the wire onto. How's the scalpel looking? That feels a bit spongy. Yep. Okay, we need a new one. New scalpel time. Where's my box? Here it is. Yeah. Okay. Just swapping out the scalpel here for a nice shiny new one. If anyone does use the same scalpels that I do, they're Swan Morton surgical scalpels. Just be really careful with them because they are designed for cutting skin and they do it incredibly well. So I'm going to just run one single wire, but I'm going to join it at a couple of locations. So I might just get rid of this little daggy bit here. There we go. And then I'll join them maybe along here. Little knob there. And maybe join him here. And then maybe here. And here. And here. And that's it. I don't think we need to run any further than that. So there we go, just a little bit of Morse code running along the wire there. Let's get some flux on there. Hey, easy. Should probably do this one while I'm at it, shouldn't I? One's not as bad. I've only got... Yeah, I think he's okay. You reckon she'll run a wire along this one as well? Maybe to there. I get flux all over my clean scalpel. Don't like it. Right. Thomas Armstrong, hello. You might recognize this board. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Oopsie. Do-do-do. Do. Oh, I need more flux over here. Look at me getting all that solder in those nice clean holes there. Don't have to deal with that. Let's get every solderer's best friend, a little bit of wick. Wickety whack. Keep thinking whether to just get a scope camera. I did actually use my phone on this as a camera before I got the scope camera. Interestingly enough, I used a mount that was, I think, originally designed for those cheap, what do you call them, those, you know how you can get those real El Cheapo, what do you call them, like zoom lenses and fisheye lenses and stuff like that. It had a little clip thing, and I was able to mount that clip thing onto this and then attach the phone. It worked quite well. I mean, the results weren't too bad. I mean, I couldn't get the full frame like I can here. I was ending up getting the microscope part in a circle in the middle of the picture. But it was better than nothing. But I'll be honest, this camera here, it's by no means the best that they make. But it's not terribly expensive. This one is the HC210 HDMI camera. So it has HDMI output and it has USB as well. So you can actually run it as a USB webcam if you want, or you can run it through HDMI out and run it straight up to a big TV. I've actually got both here. The only thing you can't do is you can't do that both at the same time. So while I'm live streaming like this and I'm using it as a USB webcam, I can't show the picture up on the big screen. But if, for example, I've got someone down here, I'm doing a repair for them on the spot, I will often show the picture up on the big screen so they can see what I'm doing while I'm working. So, yeah. Action Retro, Sean, hello, welcome to the stream. I had something I wanted to ask you, but I can't remember what it is now. Someone had cut the Sims with side cutters when I got it. It's extraordinary. Do you know why? Because, boy, they made a meal of it, didn't they? Because I can tell you that's not the best way to remove SIM slots. Crazy people. Crazy people. Okay. I don't know which one to start with. Should we start with... Hey, I didn't... What? Hey. What am I doing? Hello to Emily and Sam. Thank you for joining the stream. How much do you regret putting RGB into your cube? You know what? I'm not going to judge. This is one of the things I generally say about this sort of stuff. If you own it, you can do what you want to it. I don't necessarily do what I'd do to it, but you can do what you want with it. I mean, you know, if you want to, I don't know, do something crazy like use a puck mouse with your computer, something like that, it's yours. You can do it. Go for it. Right, so we've got one bit soldered down there. Once we've got an anchor, generally the rest are pretty easy. I hope this wire isn't going to make it so that this SIM slot doesn't sit flush, but probably will. Maybe I should be using thinner wire. We'll have to see. I'll test it out once I've got this first wire on. I mean, I'm not a big fan of people taking working computers and turning them into something else, like, you know, a cat bed or a fish tank or something, and going, oh, look how cute this is, and it's like you've destroyed a computer in the process. I don't mind when people are doing those things with something that is, you know, completely busted. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But, yeah. Shots fired on the puck mouse. Oopsie. Dear. I'm not a big fan of LED lights in computers, period. I'm not saying that I don't like what Sean did to the cube. I actually think it looks quite good because of the way that computer is designed. I actually think the lights work quite well in it. But when I see someone with a computer with RGB lights in it, I sort of think, yeah, nah, not for me. Very liberal with the flux today. I'm going all Rossmann on this board. There we go. So, we have got our first trace repair in place. And as promised, the next thing I'm going to do is check and see if the slot still fits on, or whether I need to tear it off and use a thinner wire. Back in 20 minutes. Okay, Jay, I hope he's not offended about the puck mouse thing I said. I've probably got more hours on a puck mouse than anyone here, because I'm an old person and we use them. Alright, so that goes on that way. Let's see if that's going to fit. There is a gap at the bottom. I think that might help us. There we go. Yeah. I can get that perfectly flush. That's nice. Right, so now I've got to do another trace repair without wrecking the first one. And that's the trick. That's the trick, people. And Scarlet Swordfish, what are your thoughts on the puck mouse? Having used it for a while. Uh-oh. That's right. It's good. Everything's fine. It gets the job done. Yeah, I would say that as well. I've mentioned this before, you know, that the only issue I ever had with the puck mouse, and to use it today, you go, oh, there's no scroll wheel, or it's only one button or whatever, but that's just how they were back then. And you could obviously go out and buy non-Apple ones, but, you know, back in at that time, you know, they were still all about the simplicity, and your mouse only had one button on it, simple as that. But it was the roundness of it that I always had an issue with. But I found a way. I got around that. I literally only have one puck mouse here now, after all these years. When I consider how many I had once upon a time, I don't know where they've all ended up. Maybe I gave them away, sold them. Who knows? I had about 7 or 8 of those, like G3 and G4 towers once upon a time, and I gave them all away. Breaks my heart, actually. There was one in particular where there was someone who wanted a computer, and I said, you know, I'm giving this computer away for free. No worries, okay, all good. So they came and they turned up, and they had no idea what a Mac was. They had no idea the difference between a PC and a Mac. And I said, look, ultimately, I don't think this is for you. I mean, you've got to keep in mind that this is a Mac. It's a Mac operating system. You can't just run Windows on it. You can't just run the same software that you might use at work. This is a Mac. And they had no idea what I was talking about. I said, look, I'm really not sure. I think you're probably better off holding out for something else. But ultimately, I'd offered it to them for free. They still wanted it, and they took it. I think they took 2 or 3 of them. I remember at the time, just they like one for each of their kids, and I thought to myself, are they ready for this? Are they really ready to, you know, sort of learn this? Anyhow, can't judge. Right, so that's trace repair number 2. We will, of course, get the old beep machine to check and make sure that we have restored continuity. Trying to watch YouTube on a phone is a pain. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would also agree that my little probes here are starting to fall apart. Smell good? I probably need to buy some new ones. Lane Brown, hello. Welcome to the stream. Right. So let's just see if this trace repair works. We're going from that there to that there. There's a nice solid resounding beep. And we'll go from this one to this one. And there's a beep there as well. Yay! What are we looking at? Oh, we've got 40 people watching at the moment. Hello to everyone. If you haven't jumped on and said hello, say hello. I didn't actually announce this on Facebook or anything this time, just because of time constraints. And so, yeah, the fact that people are here, I guess, means the notifications work. So I think we have to say big thank you to YouTube for that. It's got this little thing here. I don't like the look of it. I want to get a little bit of solder onto it. Come on. I didn't get a notification you were streaming. Yes, this is true, but Trini, you had an unfair advantage. You knew I was going to stream because you were watching Mike from Mike's Mac Shack. Anyone who hasn't watched Mike from Mike's Mac Shack, jump onto his YouTube channel. There's some fun old content there. Didn't get to watch too much of the stream this morning because I was too busy faffing around trying to get things ready for mine. To the break. Oh no. Oh no. Another one there. Okay, so we've got 2 more to fix, and then we can probably move on. Probably. Is that the same one? No, it is not. So just to recap, anyone who might have joined recently, this is a board that has already been recapped, and to be quite honest, the recapping job is pretty darn good. Nice clean solder joints, not too much solder, everything seems to be making contact. I don't see any other damage. If there is any other damage, can you please let me know without, other than what we're looking at here? Is there anything else I should be looking at, sir? I'm just not mentioning your name just in case you want to stay anonymous about it. If you're quite happy for people to know this is your board, then, I'll start mentioning you by name. Okay. Most people seem to be okay with being mentioned, but some people can get a bit funny. So I don't want to upset anyone. There we go. A nice little joint. Sure, not worried. It was my first practice board of the Mac type. Well, I've got to tell you, Thomas, it looks a hell of a lot better than the very first board I did. The first board I did, which was, the very first recapping that I did. I had a fair bit of soldering experience, but I didn't have that much experience with the kind of close-up stuff. The first one I did, which was also an SE30, I made an absolute mess of it. And I revisited it probably a year ago, something like that. And I looked at it and I went, oh my goodness. And I'd done some trace repairs. And then once I actually went and had a closer look, I realized I didn't even need the trace repairs in place. I was able to just create a tiny little bridge so you didn't even know there was a break there. So anyhow, but it's all part of life. So yeah, nice soldering work, Thomas. Well done. So my original question was I use a fancy vacuum tool to clean the sim holes out. One of these little machines like I've got. The ones that go. Is there anything else wrong with this board that you know of, Thomas? I mean, in theory, once I fix these trace repairs and put the RAM slots on, you think we're likely to see it fire up, or is there something else where you might be like, oh no, there's this horrendous issue over here it needs to be dealt with first? Am I staying in sync this time? I do seem to be. Last time I had all sorts of problems with synchronization of my audio. It was terrible. I mean, the stream was still okay. I mean, it was bad, but not Battlefield Earth bad. Okay. Now YouTube just gave me the notification. Okay, well that's something. At least it gave it to you, albeit a little late. One solder is poor, so is the U column of IC. They're not too bad, to be honest. This, I mean, I'm looking at it here, and I got to tell you, in terms of the state of the U column, these really aren't too bad at all. There's a little bit of crusty stuff here, but I think that'll just come out with that. And what was the other thing? You said the RP1 solder is RP1. Where's RP1? Nim, 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 nim. Nim, nim, nim. Nim, nim, nim. RP10, RP2, RP3. Where's RP1? Messing with me. There must be an RP1. You wouldn't have a 2 without a 1, surely. Oh, there it is. Thank you. I was looking up the wrong end of the board. Okay, it's there's a bit of gunge there, but the solder's not too bad. We'll clean it up a bit. We'll clean it up a bit while we're here. Yes, sir. Drag soldering. Oh, jeez, I haven't got my fume extractor on. No wonder the stuff's going right up my nose. What a silly Billy. Okay. Hello from Texas, Francisco Perez. Hello there. Thanks for your replies on Facebook. No worries. I do what I can. I don't get a chance to reply to all of them, and I don't get a chance to reply to all the questions that get asked. I mean, sometimes people ask me the most elaborate questions, and I'm just like, oh, wow, man. Do I have the time to sit down and go with that? And then, of course, the other time you often have, you've got to ask a whole bunch of questions, and then you've got to wait for the answer, and then you can sort of start doing some diagnostics like that. And then other times they're like, they say, oh, what could cause this? And it's kind of like, well, there are like about 16 things that could cause that. So, it's difficult. How are your holidays? My holidays weren't too bad. I mean, I don't really have holidays because I'm self-employed. But I did I did a little bit more of what I wanted to do. So I took, I think, all of Christmas Day off. But every other day I worked on, this sort of stuff, working on the shed, working on tidying things up, repairs, that sort of stuff. So just trying to get ahead because I've just fallen a bit behind with all the repairs, and it's a bit mean because people want their stuff, I'm going to put that there, and that goes along there, and along there, and along there, and along there. I lost it. It's in here somewhere. There we go. He's connected to the ROM, so that's good. He's connected. And what about this in? This in? He is also connected to the ROM. There we go. Got to join in there. Okay, it's because we're fine with the DB25 connector performance. Let me know when you had a chance to compare it with a 5.5. Oh yeah, that's right. So here's the problem that I had with that. I broke my 5.1. It's here. Here's my 5.1. I've only got one. All the rest I've got a 5.2. And this has the DB5 connected here, but I broke this somehow. So there's something wrong with it. So I need to fix this before I can actually go in and do that comparison. So that's the thing that stopped me from doing that. So just to recap what we're talking about, SCSI to SD, one of my favourite things. I did a benchmarking video recently. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it because it's good fun stuff, I think. Sorry, just getting sidetracked here for a second. So yeah, broke my the 5.5 is the slowest of the SCSI to SDs, and it runs externally. And Francisco came up with a very good question, and that is, how does it compare in speed to using the external connector on the 5.1? And it's like, well, that's a really good question, and I really want to know that, but I broke this. Now, I think it's one of these little guys here, and I need to replace those. I might even be able to steal one of those off one of the 5.2s, we'll see. But anyhow, that's where I am with that. Hello from Ohio. Hello, John Haynes the Fourth. I think we've got a few Ohio viewers here today, haven't we? Everyone from Ohio say yo. Oh, thank you very much, Steve, for putting that there. Actually, where are my Ohio viewers? What's going on? One went away. One hasn't been able to join. Come on. Come on. Right, so I've done these trace repairs. I'm fairly content now that I've found them all. I'm just going to have another look. I think we're all these other wires are looking pretty good. I should, and when I say should, I will, put some UV mask. Oh no, what just fell down? Put some UV mask on here before I put the SIM slot on it, just to give it some protection. Oh wow, this brush is really stiff. What's going on? I have to clean this up, but be gentle enough so that I don't wreck my traces. Okay. JC. Hello, California. So, slightly better time slot than the Ohio folks. I think you're 3 hours, so... let me think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be 6 p.m. in California, I think, if I'm doing my maths correctly, and it would be 9 p.m. on the East Coast, I think. Would that be correct? Okay. Lucille, you may well be the only one who's watching from Italy. And thank you very much for watching from Italy. Right, so I'm going to do a thing here. Let's just change camera views for a second. And, whoa! Hey, there we go. So, sorry if anyone gets any motion sickness here from this. There. Sorry, I can't get that. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. So I'm going to get some of this spray stuff. It's awful. It's not very good, but it's kind of like an electronic spray. I mean, but I use it for a very specific purpose. When I don't want to ultrasonic clean and I just want to try and get some flux off, so I'm going to just use a bit of this. And I want to get this clean enough to be able to put UV mask on it. There we go. I sent you a picture of the before board back in the summer. Yes, I'm pretty sure you did. I'm sure I would have it among the many, many, many pictures. But yes, I'm sure it's there. How do you normally contact me? Via email or via messenger, or I can't remember. Whatever method you normally use to contact me, I'm sure we'd have the picture there. And I remember it was snapped off because she sent me, just so that people know, Thomas Armstrong, who is in Canada, has sent me, this is the third board that I've received from Thomas. The first two, I think from memory, I think they were just recaps and repairs or something like that. I can't remember. But they both went back in a much happier state than they were when they arrived. So that was quite pleasing. I always like bringing the old SE30 back to life. Okay, so let's now jump across to this view. Yes. Looks like I need to clean my microscope lens again. I need to make a video of that. I've been talking about doing that for a long time. Trace of damage under the UE8. I didn't remove it just to run new lines. Do you recommend removing the IC or do what I did to prevent more damage to the board? Here's a real... That's a very interesting question. Now, what I would do is I would take UE8 off. But I take UE8 off boards all the time. So I can do it easily and cleanly. If you have concerns that the removal of UE8 might cause some damage to the board, then I think stick with what you're comfortable with. If you're quite happy with just, whipping off a surface mount IC and repairing it, then that's what I would do. But the most important thing is making sure that you don't do damage to the board. So if you can get it working without it, fine. So what I'm doing here now is I'm going to put some UV solder mask over this repair, just to help give it some strength. I just need to do it in a way where I don't stuff up these little holes. This is sort of like a resiny type stuff that goes rock hard when you hit it with UV light. Very, very handy stuff. And in an instance like this where we have this wire sitting proud off the board, hitting it with a coating like this protects it incredibly. It makes it, as strong as if the repair was never done. So, if it gets banged or bumped or something like that, that wire isn't going to fall off by accident. Email. Okay, no worries. So the picture will be there in email. I definitely remember you sending me an image of, well, it was this board, obviously, with part of the SIM slot snapped. I definitely remember you sending that. And I remember I said to you, if you want to just send it to me like that, and I'll remove the SIM slot for you, I'm happy to do so. But you went and did it yourself, and that is absolutely and totally fine. And I'm assuming this damage to these traces was done by the person that tried removing it with side cutters. But you certainly did save me some trouble, because, yeah, removing these things can be a bit of a pain sometimes, even with the sucky machine. The machine, as I call it. Because I've got to dry all this. I've got my pew-pew laser here ready for that. I'm looking through the microscope at the moment, so if there are fascinating, important bits of information coming up in the live chat, you just have to sit tight for a minute. It's a really, really mild day here in Sydney. It's quite cool. It was rain this morning. It's a little bit drier now. A few sprinkles maybe, but really, really mild. It's such a contrast to last summer. Last summer it was just so hot all the time. This is quite pleasant. Here we go. Kermit the Frog here. Alright, do you install the overhead camera on the holidays? Yes, I did. So I've actually just attached it to the little overhead light that I have here. So this is the light, and there's the camera just there. So I can sort of move this around, and because it's quite good having it on the light, because it means that whatever I shine it on is getting well illuminated. And it just, what happened was when I got the new camera that doesn't have the UV spots on it, I looked at the old camera and I thought to myself, it's got the spots on it, but it still largely works if I can find a use for it. So I thought, yeah, a bit of an overhead view. So now we've got side view, we've got overhead view. I can see myself using that overhead view a lot. I just got to make sure I don't forget to do it on my fly or something like that, because it's sort of shining right down into my lap. And I don't want to go viral for all the wrong reasons. Okay. Right, a little bit there, just a bit there, yes. Right, so it's drying time. Summer there in winter, yes it is. That's the whole northern southern hemisphere thing, but it is something that we are well used to here, because when we watch American movies and everyone's like having winter Christmas with, sort of roast turkeys and stuff like that. And of course, over here, well, it was really nice this year, but in the past, I think like last year, Christmas Day was like 40 degrees Celsius or something. So, I don't know, I guess 100 or something in Fahrenheit. And the last thing you want is a roast turkey when the weather's like that. The Christmas tradition here in Australia is generally seafood for Christmas. People go and get fresh seafood and have that. Things like prawns or what are they called? Shrimp. Yeah, we have sort of prawns and lobster and stuff like that. That's generally the Christmas meal tradition in this part of the world. Just got to check. Okay. Just checking. Just checking. Incidentally, I should just mention, there's a little bit of chatter in there about UE8. I should mention you can still buy them. So I keep a really big supply of UE8s, all of these chips actually, the entire U row. So we've got LS393, LS166, F253, 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 F253. Every single one of those chips I keep a really good supply of. And yep, you could still buy them, just buy them from DigiKey. So, yay. We used to have a tradition here at Christmas time. We used to head down to a national park with the family, and we'd set up and have a picnic there, and we'd all bring a little bit of food. We'd all bring a plate each, and yeah, we would have our Christmas in a national park, have a picnic. But it started just getting too hot. We stopped doing that. We were just getting down there, and it was just so stinking hot. And you're sitting out there, even under shade, it was just so uncomfortable. So we stopped doing that. We sort of have it at people's house now, somewhere with air conditioning. But as I say, this year, nice. It was nice. Just checking to make sure that all these holes are through. This is the boring part, I'm afraid. Just here. Geez, that's presumptuous of me, isn't it? Presumptuous of me to say that this is the boring part. It assumes that the rest of what I'm doing is interesting. What arrogance. This is one of the boring parts. So I also got a Macintosh 2. If this gets done too quickly, I may go grab that Macintosh 2 and we'll have a look at it. Probably won't be able to finish it because it is quite the thing. But it's a really, really exciting repair, I would say. I mentioned this before. Someone had a go at fixing it, and so it's got a lot of trace repair on it, but it's been done in a way that looks a little bit like a bowl of spaghetti. And I want to try and make it so that it doesn't look like a bowl of spaghetti. Spaghetti. It's like watching paint dry. It's a lot like that, isn't it? Mind you, this does dry a little bit faster than normal paint. As you can see, this stuff's starting to go a matte finish rather than that sort of glossy wet look. And when we've got that matte finish, we know that's drying. I mean, this is almost definitely all dry now. Sometimes I cheat when it's a really sunny day. I just take the board out, sit it in the sun. It only takes a couple of minutes because that great big UV globe in the sky, that really speeds up the drying. I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of hot air. Looking good. All right, so let's get some RAM slots on here. And make sure I get spaghetti. Yeah. Make sure I get these on right, so because obviously they go this way, and these ones can go on either way. So let me just get this microscope out of the way, and then we'll go and press this button here, and we'll be looking at the top view again. Yay! Just gotta make sure I don't bang my head on that. Stay still. Stay still. Okay, so this is the RAM sim needs to obviously go in that way and then clip up. So we need to make sure it's that way around. So it's good. Come on. There's that one. And this one. That way. Yep. Good. Oh, yeah. Thomas, where did you get these RAM things from? I want some. I want heaps of them. I want to buy many of them. Okay. Oops. Can't do that. So, there we go. Sorry about hitting the microphone there. Horrible noise, horrible noise. Betting China or India? Yes, you're probably right. It's just a question of where to go. Where? Which website? Where? The thing that really sucks about this, the only way I can check to see if this is working and all good is to put these RAM slots on. And if it doesn't work, I might have to take these RAM slots off again. I really don't want to have to do that. Atari STE slots. Okay. Alright. Okay. That's what we need. So I'm just going to... I haven't got my goggles on. I don't think I've even got a pair of goggles down here. They're my 3 times magnification glasses that I wear. So I'm just going to push this down while I melt this solder to make sure this is sitting nice and flush. Push down. There we go. Flush. Flush. And then I'll do one in the middle as well. And then I can just do the rest. So let's do that one. Nice big ground one. Beaut. You beaut. I can't see it now because I don't have my goggles on. That's not the middle. Yeah, nothing wrong with my eyes. That's the middle. Can't see so good anymore, Sonny. Okay, I'm just going to flip this over and see that it all looks good from this side. Come from... Oh, I don't want to have to get it from there. It'll take forever. Alright. I like them though. This would look good with them all there. Just replace them all. Look at that. This one. Look. Imagine just to get rid of those and have them all with these. These look good. I like them. Okay, so it's on. Let's solder some pins. What are your thoughts on getting solder to reflow that is literally grey and crusty all the way through due to battery corrosion? My thoughts are to get rid of it and start again. That's what I would generally do. I would usually take the component off with hot air. I would clean off all the crusty solder, and then I would put the component back on with nice new solder, fresh solder. If it's that bad. You know, I mean, it depends how bad it is. Because that's a pain, and you don't have to do that for like a zillion components on the thing. Tell you what, the old SE30, what a popular Mac this is. I mean, I don't know anyone in the vintage Mac world that either A, has an SE30, or B, wants an SE30. I've never met anyone who collects vintage Macs saying, you know what, SE30? No, no time for them. As people may well know, I have been making my own SCSI 2SDs here in the den here, in the dungeon. And I have just been loving putting SCSI 2SDs into all of my Mac collection. Just loving it. I've got a Quadra 950, and here's the funniest thing happened. I got this Quadra 950 a while ago. Happy to have a Quadra 950, all good. and I sort of put it away somewhere after fiddling with it. And the other day I thought, you know what, I'm going to grab that Quadra 950 and I'm going to have a play with it and stick a SCSI 2SD in it. Yeah. So I grabbed the thing, I pulled it out. I already put a SCSI 2SD in it. I really need to start recording these things. Yeah, neither iron nor heat melted. Well, yeah. So ultimately what happens with those crusty joints, I can possibly demonstrate with it here. You just need enough heat to melt the solder that's underneath the crusty stuff. And then I'll see if I can find a really crusty one after this and just sort of demonstrate removing it and putting it back on. Because I'm sure I have some. Garth Beagle, hello. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. There are no penalties for being late, so all good. Okay, well I think that's all soldered. Or soldered. Soldered. Looking good. I don't think I missed any. Don't think I missed any. Good. Vata battery strikes again. Yes, indeed. What a mess under the sim. Yeah, Thomas, I have got one exactly the same. I've got a Quadra 700 with some very serious battery damage. Now, I've got a working Quadra 700, so I haven't been overly motivated to do anything about it. But yeah, it's done some terrible damage up and down the board. It doesn't look bad, and I've repaired what I could see, but it still doesn't work. So there's damage there that I can't see. Maybe if I can build one. So Danny D, here we go. Maybe if I can build one, I'll do it. But for now, I'm going with a 50 to 68 pin SCSI adapter, which indeed you can do. A link to the place the RAM sockets can be obtained. Okay. You're not going to be able to share it on the stream. You can email it to me. I guess you could mail the link and then I could put it up there, something along those lines. Which email address? I'll go just, how about mail@brankus.com.au? mail@brankus.com.au. That one's a public email address anyway, so I don't mind giving it out on a live stream. Right, well, we're on here. I guess the next step is to test. I'll give it a clean, of course, afterwards, but for now, we'll just test it. Looks alright. So, which view are we going to do for the test? Probably the side view will be best, even though it's a little bit dark. Let's see if I can fix that up. Let's go camera default. Let's go side cam. That's down. Let's go here to webcam settings panel. Let's go to brightness. Oh, that's too bright. There we go. I don't know, how does that look? Is that alright? Is it good? Yeah, good, thanks. I can get up and brighten it up, and then I have to get out of my chair. And come on, none of us want that. Link emailed. Excellent, thank you. So, can I even check that mailbox down here? Because I am down in the... Right, so... Oh, there's a lot of mail to catch up on there. Which one is this one? This could take a while to load all the mail from that mailbox. I don't even know which mailbox it is, but never mind. Right, so if I get it in time, I will post it into the chat. Oh, goodness me, look at all those. 45 people watching at the moment. Hello to you all. Thank you very much. And Merry Christmas and all that other stuff. Happy New Year coming soon. Not long now. We're already sort of planning a bit of a menu and whatnot. Just bear with me a sec here. Right, okay, that's all good. Someone just asking me about replacing batteries in MacBooks. Alright, let's put some RAM in here. Thank you, Thomas, for including some RAM with your little package. And thank you for including the ROM as well. Some people don't do that. They don't send me the ROM, which is not a good idea because sometimes when these things have problems, it is the ROM causing the issue. So I always like to have the ROM for testing as well. So that's excellent. Thank you. But of course, do as Thomas did, take them out when you send them to me. Don't leave them in. I had someone send me a board with the ROM and the RAM all in their slots, and it got bumped in transit, and it snapped off the plastic thing here for the ROM sim. So not good. Not good at all. Okay. Oh, I love this. I love this RAM slot. Have a go at it. I want one. I want 8. I am so going to replace my SE30 with these better RAM slots. So we only need 4 to start it up, but you do need 4, minimum of 4. There are 8 slots on here, and you can... Oh dear, we've got a snappage here. I can't hold this in because it's snapped. What am I supposed to do about that? Piffle. Right. I'm going to have to rig something up. Yeah, that didn't go in. You needed to send me 2 more of those things, didn't you, Thomas? Okay, do you reckon I can hold this in by shoving something between the two? That might work. Tried to share the stream to a group on Facebook and apparently have been banned from making new posts. Hola, what did you do, Danny? What? Fizzbin, hello. Got an ultrasonic cleaner for Christmas. Yay! Good stuff. Well, what I would recommend there are heaps of tips that I can give. I'm partway through doing a video. I've just had so little time lately, and the SCSI to SD one kind of became quite a high priority. But I can tell you with the ultrasonic cleaner, I can tell you the way I use it. It's not necessarily the way that everyone else uses it. I run the temperature around about 50 degrees Celsius, even though the fluid I use says it's not even necessary to heat. But I find that the heat helps to soften the flux when I'm cleaning. So I run it around about 50 degrees Celsius. I use a very specific detergent that is designed for working with electronic components. It's designed to break down dirt and flux and stuff like that, but not do any damage to the plastics or the metals or the solder or anything or the components on the board. Now, a lot of people will tell you that's a waste of money, and that's up to them. Some people have said that you can get perfectly good results with just good old dish soap. Just add a little bit of detergent in there and away you go. And it will work. But as to what the potentially long-term effects are going to be from using those sorts of detergents, I don't really know. So anyhow, I ultrasonically clean it. A board like this, I'll probably do about 5 to 10 minutes per side. And then I rinse the whole thing in isopropyl alcohol. And then I dry it in an oven, set it around about 60, 70 degrees Celsius. 70? 70? Yeah, about 70. 60, 70 degrees Celsius. Can you use the same detergent water more than once? Absolutely. I use it until it goes this colour. And then I replace it. So once you get to the point where you start taking things out and they're getting some of this gunk on them on the way out, yeah, it's time to change it. So I generally I use the same liquid until it goes brown, and then I replace it. But that takes a while. I mean, I clean a lot of things with this, and of course I'm often cleaning very dusty things as well. So this whole time I've been chatting, I still haven't found a solution to the problem in front of me. So I'm going to start concentrating on fixing this, solving this problem. I'm looking for something non-conductive that I can shove between these two to hold this RAM sim. And everything I have here is conductive. Okay, here's a bit of cardboard. How about that? And when you're putting the liquid in the ultrasonic cleaner, whatever detergent you use, mix it with distilled water. Don't use tap water. You can rinse with distilled water afterwards as well. Just means they're going to take a little longer to dry. I think this is going to work. Segway is fine. So I actually feel a bit guilty because I've been promising an ultrasonic cleaner video for a long time. This is the one that I built myself behind me, and I'm having constant problems with it. We might even have a look at that when I've finished here to see if I can work out. So in this here I have 8 ultrasonic transducers, and they are powered by 4 power supplies. And the power supplies keep failing. I know what the point of failure is, and I'm able to repair it, but it just means that one at a time they keep going, and then I have to repair them. It's a pain. It does look like coffee. It wouldn't be very tasty, though. Rubber bands is a good idea. I don't have any down here. But anyhow, this seems to be working, so I've just put a bit of cardboard in between the two. That's holding that one up. So let's just see what happens, shall we? Shall we? Let's get some room here, because I need to lug a compact Mac up onto here. Old capacitor. Oh, just got to go get it. Let me a sec. Just over here. Not far. Oh, boy. I'm so old. I'm so old. Oh, I'm fat and old. Okay. This is my SE30, and I'm a fan. I do like these. I opened this one up so much, I don't think there are even screws holding it together. Yeah. So just a little tip for anyone. I've probably shown this before. I'm just going to tilt the camera up a bit, so just bear with me. Yeah. Higher. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So a little tip for anyone who's ever wanting to open these. Obviously make sure you have all the screws out. But the really important thing with these is not to use a screwdriver on the edges. I generally just use, my great big fat chunky man hands, so I don't even worry about prying them apart or anything like that. I just put one hand here, my left hand, and then I put my strong hand here with my sort of nails. They're not that long, and I generally just put those into this little groove here, and then I just go like that, and it just comes apart. It works for them all. Okay, I'm going to put this here so that next time I walk through, I set myself an obstacle course and I'll probably hurt myself. There we go. Take this thing off. It's a little shield. Pain in the butt, those things. There we go. Right. Sorry, banging the microphone here. Careful, easy. So then I've got to take all of my stuff out. I've got a network card in this. This is a network card that will work also in an SI, 2SI. People may not realise, but the processor direct slot in an SE30 is the same as the processor direct slot in an SI. The only difference, of course, is that they are slightly different spaces, like the amount of space you have in there. So some cards won't fit. But this was a card that was specifically made to work in both. And as you can see, it actually has this PDS slot extender. So if you're putting it into an SI, you can stick another PDS slot coming out that way. Very nifty, very clever. There's a slot there for a floating point unit, the 68882 math code processor, which I don't use on this because the SE30 actually has one built in. But if I was running this in an SI, I could put the floating point unit there, and it would give my SI a math coprocessor. So isn't that wonderful? I'm going to unplug this. Just move that out of the way. Why did those slots have so many pins? Well, because it's Apple, more pins is better. This is You probably can't see it, but there's a little sticker on the side there that says 26th of April 1988. Whee! And you may or may not be able to see it, but that there is a SCSI to SD. It's a SCSI to SD version 4.2, which I made. I've only recently put it into this computer. This used to have an old spinner in it. But I just thought, why? Why am I doing that? Why have an old spinner when I have these SCSI to SDs at my disposal? 1 pin for each pin on the processor, I would guess. Probably something along those lines. I've never even looked at the schematic, so I guess it would be something along those lines. Okay. Crazy Tech Reviews. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I didn't see a little yo appearing there. One of those math coprocessor things with the new bus slot. So the math coprocessor is something that was around ultimately for the 68030. I'm not even sure if you had math coprocessor. Oh yes, no, you did have math coprocessor for 68020 because the Mac 2 had one. It had a 68881 math coprocessor. With the 68030, you had the 68882 math coprocessor. And yeah, I mean, its sole purpose was for calculating floating numbers. And for anyone who doesn't know what a floating number is, it's a large number, a big number. You know, if you're working with databases and stuff like that, you have an integer number, which is a, you know, sort of a whole number between minus something or other and plus something or other. And then you move up to a float number. And a float number is, you know, sort of, if it has a decimal place in it, that's a float. So a floating point unit is good at calculating float numbers. What difference did it make from a performance perspective? Well, I don't know. This is my SE30 board, everyone. Well stocked with RAM here. It's got, I think they're 2s. I think I've got 4 2s there and 4 16s. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's well sorted. And then I've got this thing here holding in the ROM because this snapped off there. This little thing that it is holding it in is some of that plastic that you can get that it goes soft when you put it in boiling water and quite malleable, and then you can shape it and you can sort of make little clippy things from it. It's very handy. Good stuff. So let's put that board away. Let's get this board here. This is the one. This is the board of the moment. Hang on. I'm forgetting the answers. Okay, let's do this. Put that into the power, the sound, because we want to be able to hear it. And then we get this. Come on, in you come. Oi, oi. There, thank you. I do tend to lose my thread a lot of the time when I'm talking. I start talking about a subject, I get sidetracked, and then all of a sudden I start talking about something else, and that side subject just gets stopped. So if that ever happens and you actually wanted to hear the end of the other part of the story, just let me know. Alright, so got that. Let's now connect up the old floppy drive. Oopsie. Oh, Data! You made it! Wow, what happened, man? What happened? Where have you been? We've got so much stuff to catch up on. Boy, oh boy. Some technical issues. Wasn't letting me tune in till just now. Why? Why? What did you do wrong? How did you upset YouTube? Alright, so here's the old SE30 with the board in place. And what we want, I'm going to turn the fan down a bit because it's annoying me. What we want is we want to plug this into the power, and we want this just to go ding, and then come up with a nice white screen. It said your video was restricted. Oh, that's weird. Weird. What have we got? We've got Oh, I got 47 people on at the moment. We're just missing that elusive 50. We got up to 49 at one stage. All right. 240 AC volts. That's what I'm going to plug into this. This is one of the things I love about the SC and the SE30. The fact that they had a power supply that would just switch between the two. That was awesome. Okay, we're going to plug this in. We're going to switch it on. Are we ready? Are we all excited? I got a chime. Love the chime. This is my... Starts up quickly, doesn't it, when you've got a SCSI to SD? Sorry about the flicker. I can fix that if I can be bothered to get up. So with... I hope Thomas is watching. He's not. He's missing it. What was I going to say? There we go, starting up. Got mode 32 because these are not 32-bit clean ROMs, so you need to run mode 32 made by Connectix to set this onto 32-bit memory addressing. Oh god, I haven't connected up a keyboard. What a fool! What a fool! So, a working SE30 board. I hope that makes someone happy. There we go. Got a mousey. Hello, mousey. Right. Let's see if we can do some interesting things here. So let's go up to about this Macintosh. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Just because, I'm going to switch that around that way. I can't go too far because I need to be able to see it. And I'm going to do this little trick that I have with this camera. If you've got a fancy pants camera like this, I can go in here to the shutter speed, and I can select. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I can select, come on, that. I can select the shutter speed of the, that way, of the refresh rate of the monitor, so we don't get flickage. There we go, so hopefully you get a half decent view of what's on the screen. I might need to turn the brightness up, but you can see that, can't we? Yeah. Okay, so this one here only has 4 megabytes of RAM in it. We know that because I only put 4 megabytes of RAM in it. So there we go. And we're running system 7.1. This is quite good, actually. It's a nice clear picture. I like it. A little slight flicker there. I've got the sync just out a little bit, by just a smidge. So with the SE30, I would generally recommend probably no higher than System 7.1. I mean, I know a lot of people put System 7.5 on there because they want to do internet-y type things. And I don't blame them for doing that. But for me, I just think it's a much better user experience using System 7.1. If you do want to connect yours up to the network, if you've got an Ethernet card for it, as I do here, it's not connected to this one, but if you have one, I would recommend installing Open Transport 1.3. It gives you a far more modern experience when... Oh, jeez, come on. I think I'm going to have to turn off autofocus. What do you reckon? Whoopsie. Obstacle course. Focus. 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 Manual focus. No, hang on. Autofocus. And then turn it off. Why do you have to go blurry when I switch it on again? Getting tedious, isn't it? Okay, let's go to focus assist. Focus. That looks reasonably sharp to me. Sorry, this is all very Is the flicker gone? I think the flicker's gone. That was me just changing it to 59.8 refresh rate. So that's about what the screen is. The screen's about 59.8. Okie dokie. Alright. Now, I have the geometry on my screen filling this area. That's not how it's meant to be done. I just do it that way because I like it. So yeah, this is 4 partitions of 2 gigabytes each. If we go here to control panels, it's nice and zippy. We go here to, I've got my Kensington MouseWorks plug-in here because I've got one of those fancy mice that has 4 buttons. How cool are they? And you know what I love about them? I'll show you. I'm just going to launch this. Kensington MouseWorks. It'll probably get upset because it doesn't. Yeah, it's. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably because I don't have the mouse connected. But anyhow, so we won't be looking at that today. What did I want to look at? I wanted to look at something here. Oh, TCP/IP. So this is what you get when you install Open Transport. You get the old TCP/IP. It's not going to work because I don't have an Ethernet connected up, but it gives you this far more familiar interface than the old Mac TCP. Mac TCP is a real pain in the neck to use. So you can connect via AppleTalk. You know, if you've got Ethernet connected, connect via Ethernet, and then you can just go using Mac IP server. It'll just automatically, dynamically issue with an IP address. It just makes life a lot easier. So if you are planning to network these, I would recommend Open Transport 1.3. Most people install it without issue. I do know someone who regularly has trouble installing it, but we still haven't been able to figure out why. David Stahl, hello, thank you for joining. Guess I should downgrade my SE30 then. No, Duke the Fat Cat, this is not me saying this is what you should do. If you want to run 7.5 or whatever on your SE30 and that's what you like, by all means. All I'm saying is that I personally think you'll get a zippier experience, a kind of a faster experience on the SE30 using 7.1. You should see how they fly on System 6. They cane it. It's awesome. But, you know, only idiots like me use System 6. So, set date, very important control panel to have in this day and age because it allows you to set the year with 4 digits rather than the standard one, which only allows you to set it with 2 digits, which means that when you tell it it's 2020, it thinks you're telling it it's 1920. So, yeah, very important to have this old set date control panel. You can get that off Macintosh Garden, our favorite home of stuff. So I've got a 16 gigabyte card in my SCSI 2SD here, but I am actually only using 8 gigabytes of it. And the only reason for that is that the maximum size partition I can have under System 7.1 is 2 gigabytes. And I've got 4 2 gigabyte partitions here. And I mean, if I use the whole 16, I'd end up with 8 separate drives on here. And you have to ask yourself, on a compact Mac, just how much storage do you need? It's not like you're going to be loading videos on here or high-res color images. You know, I could probably put every single game that was ever made for a compact Mac onto one of these 2 gigabyte volumes because they're tiny. Most of those games are all designed to fit on a floppy disk, something like that. So, so anyhow, this is, I'm not sure how much we'll be able to do with this with only 4 megs of RAM. Now, have I got speedometer 3 on here? I've got speedometer 4. Will that run on this? We'll see. Speedometer. Right. There we go. Speedometer 4.02. Okay. So it does work. Register. I'm not sure if they're still taking registrations. So here you can see it shows that I've got an FPU, an MC68882 floating point unit. And then if you were to run a test on this, you can actually, if we just do the basic one, performance rating. And do. Okay. Oh, wrong keyboard. Okay, there we go. We're going to use that drive there. This is for the disk. System 6 has its charms. Yeah, I'm actually working at the moment in System 6 quite a bit because it's part of the PowerPC challenge that the MacYak group are doing starting in January. And that is where we basically see how much of our day-to-day computing can be done on a PowerPC. Now, one of the things that we did this year is we included 68K Macs on that. And that was basically because Steve wanted to see if he could use the Quadra 800 for the PowerPC challenge. So Mac84, jump onto his channel. He's done a whole bunch of videos on the subject, and it's fantastic. You know, he's basically just been getting this Quadra 800 ready so that he could just see how much he can do with it. You know, what tasks can he actually achieve with a 68K Mac? And then I decided that I would take that a step even further and try and do the challenge under System 6. So I'm using a Macintosh 2CI with a Rasterops 68040 Radius Rocket 68040 CPU accelerator, which will run under System 6. So it's the only way that I know of that you can actually use an 040 CPU under System 6. And I've been spending a lot of time in System 6, seeing its strengths and weaknesses. I used to use it back in the day, back when I used to work in that field, because, I've been doing that stuff since about 1989. And System 7 didn't come out until like 91 or something like that. So there's a good couple of years I was using System 6. I'm just sort of getting reminded of all that. There are a lot of things I can't do. I mean, step one, I can't do email, because the only System 6 email client out there will only doesn't have any authentication. And how many mail servers do you know these days that allow zero authentication for checking your mail? So that's that idea gone. Okay, so excuse me. See if you can use a Newton instead of your phone. Okay. Yeah, no, it is all about torture ultimately. So anyhow, here's our performance rating. Wouldn't expect this to be particularly good because it's up against a baseline is a Quadra 605, which is a 68040 CPU, even if it is an LC one, which is... Actually, did the 605 have the LC or the full CPU? I can't remember. Anyhow, that's the... I've got myself one of these here. Well, it's covered in oil. I won't have that one. What about this one? There we go. There's a 6804 CPU right there. This one is this is a full one. So this is not the LC version. The LC version didn't have a built-in math processor, coprocessor. We've been talking about math coprocessors. But as you can see, okay, so the disk rated quite well. Not surprising. SCSI2SD in there. And the math, not too bad either, because, as I say, it does have a 6882 FPU in it. Graphics you would expect to be garbage because it's a compact Mac. And CPU, again, not too crash hot up against the 605. So anyhow, that was just a little bit of fun there. There was something else I was going... Oh, that's right, yeah, I remember, but I don't know if I will do that. How long have I been streaming for? What about 12:15? So, yeah, okay, cool. Not 2 hours yet, so that's something. Okay, so games. Let's see if we've got any games in here. We can just have a quick... Oh, all I've got is Shuffle Pack Cafe and Prince of Persia. Good chat. We'll do it, just because it's here. There's time for another Mac, so I will go up and see what I can find. As I say, I don't expect to finish the next project, because the next project is a big one. But I'll at least grab it and start it. Boom, 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 boom. Speakers at the front on this one, just here. I always like to choose this little guy because I can win against him sometimes. Coming at this at a pretty bad angle. Oops, missed. Oh god, this mouse is not going very well on this wood. I can't get my oomph. 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 This is driving me bananas. This is gonna be the worst. The worst game ever. This is like the world's in slow motion. I can't stand it. It's terrible. I think the mouse might need some cleaning. Alright, I've had enough. Oops. I pressed quit for the wrong thing. I don't want to quit. Are you sure you wish to exit? No. We'll keep streaming for now, thank you. Right. Bye-bye, Shuffle Park. Christopher Bourne, hello. I have to go to the grocery store. I will watch the rest later. No worries, Thomas. You've seen the important bit, let's face it. So I still have a couple of other boards there to do for Thomas, but this was the I guess this was the main one we wanted to see sorted. The others are just LCs. LCs. Okay, let's shut that down. Switch him off. Then I'll take that board out. He's going to get it clean. Going to be very careful because we've now got some electricity living inside this. I better zoom out a little bit close here, aren't we? Whoopsie. Okay. Right. Zoom out. There we go. There we go. There we go. Everything's nice. Yes, hello. Welcome to the ASMR recapping. Now, I'll take this board out. There we go. Come on. Come. Out. That's enough from you. Out. Thank you. Put my board back in. Yep. It was all decked out, this one. I like it. Yep. Yep. Plug him in. Put him back. Ooh. Okay. Floppy. Right, there we go. Put our network code back in. This one, this SE30 poor thing just gets dismantled so much because I have to use it for testing other people's boards. So when they send me the board, I'm going to pull this one apart and connect it up, you know, for testing and all that. And it's a bit of a shame, you know, because it's, you know, it's these things aren't meant to be opened up that much, but it's still going well. It's nice and tidy. You know, I mean, I think I've recapped the power supply of this one as well as the logic board, so he's quite happy. Let's get our stupid thing face down. Face down. There's our stupid thing. On goes the stupid thing, and then and this goes on. Ta-da! Oocha! Ooh. Whoopsie! Ouchie! Ooh. Ooh. Put that here, wait a second. Alright. So here's the board. Have that one ready for cleaning. We'll pop that up there with some of the other boards that I'm working on at the moment. So the next thing I'm going to probably have a look at is the Mac 2 board that I was referring to, the one with spaghetti. So I need to go up to the house and grab that one. So if you guys don't mind just talking amongst yourselves just for a moment. Let's move that mouse because that one is no longer connected to a computer. Grab this mouse instead. There we go. Look, the viewers are dropping off. They don't want to see anymore. They've seen their C30. Now that's it. No, moving on. Okay, so just bear with me a couple of minutes while I go up and get the next board. As I say, we won't finish it, but we will at least start it. Hello again. Alright, let's have a look at this. This is interesting. See you, Scarlet. Probably already gone now. Right. Whoopsie. Let's go to this view. So, okay, so here is a Mac 2. We've seen these before. I've recapped quite a few of them. Actually, heaps of them. It surprises me how many Mac 2s there are still going in the world. Here's this one. Oh joy! Now, this is the area in question up here. Can we get a focus on that? No. I mean, I can, but I have to change the settings on the camera, and I don't want to do that. So we've got a little bit of trace repair here. Now, we've also got recapping with through-hole caps, which the axials, which is that's not really a problem. This board was designed to have either through-hole or surface mount caps. This person has gone with these through-hole caps, which should be okay. I don't imagine it being a problem, but we're going to have to do a little bit of close observation here. Never seen one in person. Yeah, sorry about that. I just yeah, there are heaps of them out there. Heaps. All right. So let's just see what we can see here. I'm gonna have to spin this around because these boards are ridiculously large. So we've got whoever did this has been very creative. So we've got to at least give them that. Where's my scalpel? I need something sharp to point with. Where? I've lost my scalpel. This is a disaster. This is a disaster. The whole stream is a disaster. I've lost my scalpel. I have to start again. No. Oh, here it is. It's right in front of me. Goodness, there's nothing wrong with me. Right. So we've got the power switch here. We've got a trace that runs through to there, and we've seen someone just being fairly creative and just running that trace repair along here and then to there. That ain't the way I do things. Well, this is an interesting one. There to there. Boy, where do we start with this, eh? That one going to there. Oh, wow. To there. Wow. So this one, coming along there, I'm not even sure if it's connected to the right place. Yeah, it is. Okay, wow. Not sure I even want to start this one, to be honest. The strength has left me. That looks like a pad. Come off somewhere. Alright, okay. What do people think? What are people's thoughts about this one? I'll be very interested in the 32 people still watching. I'll be very interested to know what your thoughts are about this this particular board. Because I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a quick one. I'm certainly not going to finish this today. There's some doubt as to whether I'll even start this today, to be honest. It's actually in pretty good condition compared to some that I've seen. A lot of them have really bad corrosion around these batteries, where the batteries used to be. It's not too bad. Then you would normally expect to see problems around here, and you also expect to see problems around here, which of course we do. Let me see this little guy here. But there are some neatness issues here. We will not deny that. Just looking at this is sucking my soul from my body. Oh, what to do. I guess I start. I just start and then I'll stop. I'll do one and then I'll stop. Ow! I just stabbed myself. I mean, not on purpose. Oh, I just busted a trace. Oh, wow, I really did. It took the whole thing off. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this. I'll put a new one in its place afterwards. Okay, that's that one gone. At least we've still got some trace here to join to. Not much, but we've got some. Nice wobbly pad there. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, I am going to rip it all off and start over. I can't work with what I have here. So we do have to rip it all off and start over, which is why there's no way that I'm going to finish it today, because there's just simply too much here. Now let's see if I can get this thing off without firing up the machine. It's only 2 pins. These boards are so big. Let's get some of our wick, solder wick, wickety whack. Oh, hang on. There we go. News is up to date now. Do-do-do. Let's go some solder. Solder away. Okay. One of the things you always have to remember when you look at something like this, it's all very well to look at and go, oh, yeah, that's really bad. Oh, this is shocking. In particular, when you're kind of starting out and you see ways available to you to fix a problem, I mean, you kind of just, you go with them. You go with what you have. It's very easy to look at this and say, oh, you know, I wouldn't do it like that. But, oh, I think we found the missing pad. Just getting rid of that component adhesive from there. But, you know, when you're starting out with something and you see a way of fixing a problem, you know, you can't really blame people for having a crack. We don't necessarily need to join this all the way back here. Where's the brake? Brake's kind of up there. don't want to spin this board around. It's so friggin' big. Oh, I can hear the sounds of precipitation. Okay, let's get some beepity beep action going on here. Doot doot doot. Beepity beep. Okay. So we will start our trace repair from here and run it up to there. I'm going to clean up these pads, and we're going to obviously sort something out there as well. So we'll get some flux. And I think we'll just do this one little bit here. We'll make it look good. We'll feel good about ourselves, and then I'll probably lose another pad. Goodbye, pad. Right. Oh, I've turned the fume extractor off again. Come back, fume extractor. I'm going to put tantalums on this. I hope the person doesn't mind. The board does look like an 8-hour stream. I suspect it would be. So yeah, this might be a two-parter, maybe even 3. Okay, so that's all good. We're going to expose a bit of these, because we're probably going to need to get a bit creative here. And there. Oh, it's starting to rain good and proper now. Okay. Is this hole go all the way through? What's in there? Oh, that's right. I was going to demonstrate removing a component, a surface mount component with lots of crustiness on it. I didn't do it, did I? Terrible. I'm going to try and get some of the gunk out of these holes. So I'm going to apply some heat here, some solder, to see what happens. Yeah, we're getting there. So my hope is that at the end of this particular bit, I'm just going to do this bit here. We're just focusing on at the moment. I'm not going to do any more today. My hope is that once I've finished, it will be a lot harder to see that there's any repair there. I'm not gonna, get all arrogant and say you won't know or it'll be invisible, but it'll be a lot less noticeable. Will be the plan. Now, I simply cannot get enough heat to draw that solder out with this particular soldering iron tip, so I'm going to swap over to a big one with a large amount of surface area that I can get onto there. Keep dropping my tip. Drop my tip. There we go. Stay. Get this one nice and hot. Can you put on replacement pads for the ones that are missing? Yes, you can. You can do that. You can get little bits of copper and you can stick them to the board. I don't do that. it's not the way I do it. I much prefer to do it the way that I'm going to do here. You know, I mean, if someone was sort of like, no, I want you to replace the pads, I'd be sort of like, well, I am going to make your repair so that it is strong and durable, near invisible. So that's what you're going to get. Adding solder here. As I regularly say in my live streams, it's very counterintuitive, but one of the ways to draw solder out is to add more solder. Alright, let's see what we can do with this. This one's going to be hard because it's right on this great big ground area. So all of that heat's getting sucked away. Dag nabbit. Not good. I'm not having a lot of luck here, am I? What size is my new tip? This one here is a T12C4. So T12, obviously take that as given because these are all T12 tips. But it's a C4. It's a bevel, but it's a big fat bevel. So we've got the flat edge, and then we've got the bevelly bit. I'm just not getting enough heat where I need it here. Ever try Chip Quick? Or Chip Quick? Chip Quick. Chip Quick. Chip Quick. Quick Chip? Chip Quick. Isn't that just a brand name? Alright. I have to start getting a bit creative here, I think. Thoughts? Ah, hello, Stephen. Yes, I recall making a comment about that. It was it was in a color classic analog board, and I mentioned that I have seen lots and lots and lots of analog boards, color classic analog boards with the cracked safety cap in there. I think they're a class Y. I think that one we're talking about is a class Y. I think could be a class X. I can't remember. I think that's the one we're talking about. It could have been another one. Trying to use this little piece of metal as an extension of my soldering iron to try and melt through that hole, and it's quite frankly not going very well. But I'm going to try this. Just losing more of this pad here. Doesn't really matter. I'm not really fussed about this one. I am. This is all going to get built up with a wire, but that's why I'm trying to clear through here. I want to be able to get a wire through this hole. And to be honest, it is just being so difficult. Dr. Mahmoud El Attar, I probably can't necessarily help with that. That's not something that I can really just help you know, with a live stream, you obviously need to locate that short and sort it out. But that in itself can be quite a task. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to attempt something here that no one has ever tried before. And that is not true. All right. This is proving to be a real pain in the butt. Might try this from the other side. See how we go. We'll get there, don't worry. I've never ever been in a situation where what I'm trying to do at the moment I have not been able to do. Which basically means I have a 100% success rate with doing what I'm trying to do at the moment. So we'll get there. Everything will be fine. Tell you what I'm going to do. Use the hot air. I mean, I've got all these tools here. Come on. Hey, it's going through. It's going through. I found a hole. Yay. Alright, so that's one. I don't know if I can use this same piece of wire. Do I need to? That's okay. So that's going to there. That's all. That's still intact, so that's fine. So we don't need to do anything on that side. We do need to do something on this side though. So that's this hole here. Out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. There we go. That's this hole here. So I want to just get this wire, see if I can get this wire through this hole. Oh, it's already a hole there. Sweet. Alright. I don't actually want this wire joined, I'm just using it and I'll cut it. Alright. So I'm going to pop that there, just get a little bit of solder here, hold him in place. Okay. So I'm just melting the coating off this piece of wire. There we go, that's nice. Do the same on this one. There's that smell. There's a smell when you take the coating off this sort of wire. This is transformer wire. It's enameled wire, the sort they would use for a transformer or an electromagnet, which you would wrap around the ferrite core. Come on, are you melting? I don't know that you're melting. You're not melting. Melt, you thing. Yeah, we're melting. There we go. All right. So this piece of wire that we've got trailing along here, this is it's snaking its way along there. I'm actually going to cut that. I'm just keeping it as one piece just for the moment, just to keep it all in place. I'll cut it when I've finished. All right. So what we have now, if we look at the board from this side, we have this is going to be my repair for this pad. And this is going to be my repair for this pad. But before we do that, we have got to fix this trace here. This is going to be using some thinner wire. Probably, that's too thin. Probably this stuff. Oh, excuse me. How's it going? We've still got people watching, or am I just talking to myself? Oh, still a few people watching. Okay. Oh, look. Look at that. Oh, hang on, this is dirty. Got to clean him. Oh no, that's alright. It's all good. Thought there might have been a damaged trace under that little bit of green. No one ever likes to see green on these boards, because green is usually corroding copper. Like that. I mean, look at that. That will need to be repaired. So we decided we were going to start the trace repair around about here. First thing I'm going to do is coat this with solder. And I'll be doing that using a bit of solder wick. So just get a little bit of, oh, I need to change back to my smaller. Very, very fascinating. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad it's fascinating for you. Ashton Norman. Have I said hello to you, Ashton Norman? If not, hello, Ashton Norman. Yes, it was class Y. Yes. Yeah, so yeah, I've never, on any of the color classic analog boards, I've never had to replace that capacitor, even though they're cracked on most of them. They just seem to still work. Right, so let's get some solder all over this copper here that I have exposed. There we go. So the part that I am most concerned about here is this little tiny bit that we have up the top. You can't see right there. Because if we lose that little bit of trace, I'm stuffed. I'll have to take that RAM slot off, and I don't want to do that. So let's start up there. Oh, I just dropped my solder wick. Alright, so put this here. Oh, it's bent. I don't want a bent end. Can't have a bent end. There we go. I'll drop this down here. I can only do so much with my fingers. At a certain point, I need to then change over to tweezers. And I'm going to get some solder. And this is getting all wobbly. Maybe I'll just, there we go. Just anchor this onto something here. There we go. So that's held down here now. Sorry, I've got a bit of focus issue here. There we go, that's better. So that just holds us in position, makes it a little easier to work with. We'll get some flux up here. And I'm just going to hold that down while I melt the coating off the wire and solder it on that tiny little bit of trace there. I'm not at the best angle here. As I've said before, these boards, they're so big. There we go. There we go. So now we can just keep soldering. So what I'll probably do is just get this to this point here. I'm having to move myself rather than the board. It's not ideal. Okay. Just join this in a few places. Doesn't have to be joined along the whole thing, but I just want it pinned down in a few locations. There we go. And then we need to bend. We want to follow the contour of the original trace for no other reason than it looks a little neater. There we go. And to here. I've got better tweezers than this. I don't know. Why am I using these ones? Are these the good ones? I think these are the good ones. Yeah, these are good ones. Okay, and then we'll just bend him to there. And we'll get that to, whoopsie. I think we decided it needed to be around about here or something, didn't we? Okay. You notice that throughout this time I haven't added any solder onto my iron. There's just enough residual solder on there to do the work that I'm doing at the moment, and a little bit of obviously solder on the trace itself. Now we'll just get the old beepity beep machine, and we will check to see that we have got continuity going from Hoya up to Hoya. So I'm just going to put that one there. I can't put them both on the camera, I'm afraid. Oh, thing just auto-powered off. It auto-powered, it wasn't, and then it auto-powered off just as I went to go measure. Ha ha ha, beep 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 beep. Ashton Norman, hello. Fiddling around with some Commodore productivity software I just picked up. Fun stuff. Indeed, 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 indeed. Right, so we've got that. So we've got our trace repair running along there, and then we've just got to sort out what we're going to do with this mishmash up here. Well, the first thing I have to do is clean. I have to be very gentle because we've got all these repairs here. We've got loose pads. I don't want to do more damage than is already here. Let's get a little bit of a Q-tip, a cotton bud for this one here. In a moment, I shall need my recapping guide. Thankfully, there is a recapping guide for this computer on recapamac.com.au. What a wonderful resource that website is. Lots of recapping guides. A few helpful hints. And by gum by golly, if you're in Australia, you can even use it to buy a SCSI to SD. Oh, thank you, Jay. Jay's still there. You're still paying attention. What interesting things are you working on at the moment, Jay? You've been quite quiet, so I'm guessing you're probably fiddling with stuff. Did that thing you were hoping would arrive? Or is that coming? Oh, that's coming tomorrow, I think. Yeah, that's coming tomorrow. Yeah. So we won't hear from Jay tomorrow. Cleaning. Making space for the thing that's arriving tomorrow. Awesome. Okay. Now, of course, this is all going to get cleaned in an ultrasonic cleaner, but the main reason why I want to clean it now is because I want to stick a UV solder mask on it, and I want the UV solder mask to have a nice clean surface to adhere to. Yep. And so far, we're not quite there. I'm going to get a bit of tissue action on this in a minute. If you lose several pads for a chip instead of a capacitor pad, do you use the same technique to restore the pad? I do, personally. Other people do it different ways, but if I have lost multiple pads, I still use wires to reconnect them rather than actually doing the pad underneath. When it's looking like this, you might be sort of thinking, how the hell is that going to work? But once we're finished here, it should all be quite apparent. When you consider this as the first one and how long this is taking me to do this, you can see there's a fair bit of time involved, and this board is going to gobble up some hours. I should probably get back to this person and say, you know, this thing is going to take some time. So it's going to cost some dollars. So I just want to warn you. That's clean enough for UV mask for me anyway. So let me get our old UV mask. We've been through this in this live stream already. It's a trace repair wonderland today. So get a bit of UV mask on that there. Once again, creating this little buttress on either side, because this stuff dries really hard. Creating this little buttress on either side of this wire will really protect it well. You can pretty much be sure that this is never going to come undone, never going to give us any grief in the future. This is locked in. I was actually working on my own Mac 2 yesterday, and I came to the realization that I have run out of RAM sims that will work on an original Mac 2. The original Mac 2, with the original ROMs that came out in it, is really, really touchy with which RAM you run in it. And I could probably go and raid some of my other computers and pull RAM out. But all of the RAM that I had, I just put it in and just be like, and then I put, I've got some really old, slow 256K RAM sims, and I put those in, and it worked. So I could load it up with 2 megabytes of RAM, but you know, the thing's got 8 slots, so I'd rather have at least 8 in it. I really, really need a power supply for this Mac 2 that I have. I should be getting one at some stage from Peter. Everyone, I'm sure, knows Peter in the groups. We did talk about that, but we're just having to iron out the finer details of getting the thing here to me, because sending stuff that weighs a bit from the US to Australia is quite expensive, which is very frustrating because it's not very expensive for me to send stuff from Australia to the US. It's just going from there to here that's expensive. Okay. Cool. Thank you for posting that, Joe. You did send me the email, but I never got back to it. Can I make this linkable? I might be able to make this linkable. Copy. Just going to have a quick look. I'm just going to have a look at your link there, so don't freak out, folks. Just talk amongst yourselves quickly. P connectors, loading. Here we go. All right, okay. 30-pin SIM socket metal latches. Awesome. $1.82. Sweet. I am going to buy a ton of them. I mean, not really. That would just be silly. But I'm going to buy a lot. So here we go. I'll add this hopefully as a clickable link. So this is for the replace. It's not clickable. Yes, it is. This is for the replacement SIM slots that I just used before. So this would be a perfect candidate, this computer here, because we have these, we have these plastic SIM slots here with the plastic clips that break, and yeah, you could just whip these off and put new ones on. How good is that? Right, so let's get our laser beam, and we'll go all Han Solo on this thing and go pew pew, and we'll shoot Greedo first, because we all know that's what happened. For some reason, Lucas got a conscience partway along and decided that Han Solo wouldn't be the sort of person to shoot first. And it's like, he's a smuggler. You know, I mean, of course he's going to shoot first. He's trying to stay alive. The whole point of the Star Wars movies is that Han Solo finds his redemption. He starts off as a bad guy and becomes a good guy. But Lucas just decided, no, I can't have him shooting Greedo first. That frustrates me. So what I would generally say about the dual sockets that you might be able to buy, the dual socket, sort of slots for the Macs, they would probably work in the later models that actually already have metal clips on them, but they almost definitely won't work on these older ones because the spacing is slightly different. So Mac 2, SE30, SE, not going to work in those. SE, of course, they're angled. Original SE, they're kind of... So you'd need a special slot for that one. I'm just drying some UV solder mask here, having a good time. As someone pointed out before, it's about as interesting as watching paint dry. I can't remember what rating these caps are, so I'm going to have to go and grab my thing. Got my little booklet here. I got this idea of putting them all into a booklet from Steve at Mac84. Thank you, Steve. I should have done it a long time ago. Oops, 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 I've got a page bent. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, come on, there we go. So, we're looking for a Mac 2. I'm only going to replace these two caps for the moment, so we don't have to go too crazy. Here we go, Mac 2, revision A. And this one, oh, hang on. Is this a revision A? Could be. Hang on. Looking. I've got my picture here is upside down. I can't. No, this is not a revision A. This is a revision B. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so that's that one. So they're both 47 microfarad, 16 volt. We're having to replace here, which is not surprising. That's kind of the most common capacitor size. Now, obviously, we've got this wire under here. When we put the new component on, it's going to sit up high. That's not really going to matter because there's no pad to go on this side. Now, I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with this one. I've got my wire. That's all good. I want to potentially bring this up to attach to the component, and then I kind of want to wrap it around to then join up with this here. So let's get a component and we'll see what we can do. Here we go. This is my container. Then, as I say, once I've done this little bit of repair, I will be calling it a day. I've got a few things that I need to go out and do, like visit the post office and stuff like that. And I need to go there before I miss today's post, which I probably will anyway, but never mind. Right, so positive on the right-hand side there. So we've got that there like that. And we just need to get a bit creative here. So I'm going to put that there. You know what, I can probably just use this as a pad by wrapping it around there. I saw someone do this once before and it looked strong enough to me. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Need another pair of tweezers here. Come on. There we go. I think that will provide us with plenty of surface area for that component to sit on. So let's just smother this in flux. And we'll get all that coating off with a nice big dob of solder here. Wakey wakey, my soldering iron went to sleep. So I'm melting off the coating on this wire because we need this wire to be completely and totally coating free. And I'm just doing that with a bit of heat. There we go, looking good. I think this is going to work. By Jove. Right, then we'll get our component on here, and we'll plonk him right there. I'm going to put some flux on this side. And I'm going to solder down the left-hand side first. How am I going to do that without spinning the board around? Do I dare solder left-handed? When is my thing arriving? Yeah. Well, it's not going to be that far away, I'll tell you that. It won't arrive before yours because I haven't ordered it. But I am very seriously entertaining the idea. I'll get quite a bit of flux in here, and I want to get quite a bit of solder as well. I want it to just fill any gaps that might be in there. There we go. Okay, there to there, there to there. Right, so there's a new cap on there. And then let's do this side here. As usual, I start on the side where there's a good pad, get him anchored down nicely, and then we do all of the fiddly stuff on the other side. Anyway, come on, can you get? Oi, 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 what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I've got a tissue in the fume extractor. That's why it's not extracting fumes. Okay. Trying to get this. Oh. There we go, that'll do. Right, then this bit. The wire along here. Yeah, it's messy, isn't it? I'm doing a lot of left-handed stuff today because these Mac 2 boards are stupid large. Just want to make sure I've got plenty of copper here for solder to stick to. Right. Now we get this, and we push him down onto the board like that, and then I will probably just set that up like that. There we go. Flux, 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 flux. Flux. Left-handed again. All right. So, tidy that off a little bit. And then snippety snip the top of this. Snip. And there you have it. So, let's just clean this off a little bit. I will of course get some UV mask onto this one here to help provide a little bit of extra strength. This one here I'm not concerned about. That one's strong as anything. This one here, it's got a little bit of a wobble on the side. It's not going anywhere, but a little bit of a wobble. But I will firm that up with some UV solder mask. And that, my friends, is that. So if I just change across now to a different view, and I'll come down here a little bit. And so that's it there. So this is where we originally had a wire that was snaking all the way along here, all around here, and then went up into there. So what I've done now is I've fixed this trace on its original path, going underneath these two components here. And then we've put those components on, and then we've replaced the pads rather than using big snaky wires going all over the place. We've just replaced them with you know, a single little wire that's serving as a trace and as a pad. So one thing that remains for me to do now is to snip the wire underneath. You might recall that I excuse me, I used a single piece of wire and I needed to make sure I disconnected that. There we go, and done. So just clean that there as well. Great. So all that remains now is to do what I did there for that one, which this took me, I don't know, 45 minutes or something, and do the same for that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And I'm probably going to take all these caps off and replace them as well. Yay. Okay, so just going to do a quick little catch up on the chat here, and then I will probably mosey on off. So, will there be a video on the things? Well, Jay probably won't, but he should. Pinch on to make it flat. Okay, you can always be done. Right. Seriously entertaining idea, good start. I don't know if they will fit an SE motherboard. Yes, that would be very good to know, Joe. You also got some SE who have non-standard spacing between the sims. Yeah. SE, not the SE30. Yes, that's right. So in the instance of the SE30, the way we were able to get those to work, as we just did before, was of course using single ones rather than dual ones. So it was nice. It worked beautifully. Oh, you do amazing work. Thank you very much, Trina. I appreciate that. Wish you all a happy new year and all the best to you and your families. Yes, that's a wonderful sentiment, and I wish that to you all as well. So, yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my new camera. Whee! For a bit of top view action there, and I will be probably streaming a little bit more over the coming days, you know, with it being the quiet period, Christmas, New Year, that sort of thing. Sometimes it takes a little while for things to start up for me. So we will we'll just see how we go, and hopefully see you again soon. I'm heading towards the 8,500 subscribers. There will be no celebration for that, but thanks again to everyone who's been subscribing to my channel and seeing those numbers go up. And thank you for persevering all the way through this very long live stream. I do hope to see you at the next one. If I don't stream before then, have a wonderful New Year's, and I will see you all next time. Bye!